previously I've used services such as DigitalOcean and Vultr, which are fine at around $5 a month. However, I found a different host which has 8 times the RAM, 4 times the computing power, 8 times the storage, and 35 times the bandwidth for just $7 a month, which is only $2 more. So this is by far the best deal that I've seen, so I wanted to make a video showing you how you can host your Discord bot easily on their servers. Once you've clicked on the link in the pinned comment or in the description, you will be sent to a page similar to this one. Now, the only downside to using this host is that there is a one-time setup fee of $6.99, but it is still a much better deal than DigitalOcean or Vultr when it comes to the specs that you're getting on your machine. So here we're going to pay 1 month at a time, and then you also want to select the region that you want. I'm going to select the US West because that's where I'm located. The storage type, I'm going to select 200 gigabytes SSD. We also have an image, which you can't select right now. You're going to select that later on, and I'll show you how to do that soon. We can scroll down and keep the license and network and add-ons the same unless you specifically know you want to change any of these, but the defaults should work perfectly fine to host your Discord bot. We can then click on Next. Now on this page, you want to enter in all the information, and then you'll be sent to a payment page where you can then enter in all your billing information. You can pay using credit card or PayPal, whichever one suits you best. You'll then be sent to a page similar to this one, where it's a review of your entire order. If everything looks good to you, then go ahead and click on Order and Pay. You should be sent to a page like this one afterwards, and this says it could take up to 3 hours, but in my experience, it just takes a few minutes for your VPS to actually work. Go ahead and check your email that you used to sign up, and it should have additional information on how to use it. So once clicking on the link in your email, you should be sent to a page similar to this one where you can go ahead and log in. Then here we have a previous server which I rented just to try things out, but here we have a new server, which is what you will see as well. Here we have an install instance button. This is important that you click this. This is where we're going to select the actual operating system to use. Now, an important note here is that Contabo uses admin instead of root for the username. So typically on other VPS providers, you're going to log in using root. With Contabo, you're going to log in using admin. So once you scroll down and select a standard image, I'm going to select Ubuntu 21.10, but select whichever operating system you want. Now, scrolling down further, here we see we have to provide either an SSH key or a password. SSH keys are more secure, but it does take a little bit more time to set up, and we can always do that later on at any time. So I'll have a video tutorial on how to set one up linked down in the description, but for now, we're just going to be using a simple password. So clicking on this, we can now click on Add and Store Password, and then we can randomly generate a password by clicking on this keypad right here. Now I'm going to name this YouTube tutorial. You can name yours whatever you want, and you want to click on this eye icon so you can see this, and you want to make sure that you copy this, and ideally you want to paste this inside of a notepad or something like that, because we will be needing this in just a few minutes to actually log in. So here I have a simple notepad. I'm just going to paste that in there for later, and then I can click on Create. So it says successfully add a new password, and then I can click on Install. I now get a pop-up saying that the installation process has started. It might take a few minutes to complete. That's fine. We can go over to Your Services. You'll then be redirected to a page similar to this one, and here we see the 2 different servers I have. You will just see one single server. You'll also see the status of your VPS right here. If you hover over it, it says stopped. That's because it's still setting up everything and getting everything ready. There are a couple different ways to connect to your server. If you already have a system you like to use to connect to existing servers, then feel free to use that. But I would suggest using the Bitvice SSH client. This is something that is completely free and I've used for years. A link to this can be found in the description down below. So here I'm going to simply click on Download Bitvice SSH Client, and there's a standard installer where you click Next around 20,000 times, and then you're good to go. So once you open it, you'll be sent to a page similar to this one. The port is going to be 22. The username, as mentioned before, will be admin. And then under Initial Method, you want to click on this dropdown and select Password, and then check the box that says Store Encrypted Password in Profile. I could then go back and copy the password I had before, and then I can paste it in here. And for the host, you want to use the IP address of your server. So go ahead and copy that right there, and then paste it in right here. Now make sure there's no extra spaces as you see right there. You want to delete those so there's no extra spaces before or after the host IP. I can then save the profile, and you might be prompted to actually save this at a specific location. That's fine. This way we can easily log in without entering any additional information each time. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Login. I can click on Accept and Save. So here we see on the right our SFTP client. This is where we can actually upload and manage our files and folders on both our computer and our server. And on the left, we have our standard console. So I'm going to make a new folder here. I can say mkdir space bot. And now if I do ls, we see bot is a new folder, which I can navigate into by saying cd space bot. And if I refresh over here on remote files, we now see a bot folder here. I can navigate into there, and I'm going to simply upload these files here and not node modules. We're going to not manually upload that, but instead we're going to install those later on. Now this bot here is obviously going to be different for you. Mine is just simply a ping pong bot that has one simple command, but obviously you would upload your actual bot to the server. Now one problem we have here is that Node is not installed on this machine, and we have to specifically have version 16.6 or higher in order to use Discord.js version 13. Now to install this for Ubuntu, I have an article written down below that has these commands here which you can easily copy and paste. If you are not using Ubuntu, then you might have to use a different tutorial to install version 16.6 and then come back to this one once you have that installed. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these commands here. And again, you can find these commands in the article I wrote down below. So I can right click to paste these in. So I've ran all these commands so far. And finally, we're going to install Node.js. So I will right click and run this. And then I see a page like this. I can simply just click on enter and then enter one more time. And then I can use Control L to clear the console, and I can use Node-V. And we now see 16.13.2. Yours might be different depending on when you're watching this, but as long as you have at least version 16.6, then you're good to go. So now I can do ls, and this will show all the files and folders within this directory, but we do not have our node modules folder. In order to get that, we can now run npm install. So now we have our node modules installed, and to make sure everything is working with our bot, we can run node index.js. And here we see that the bot is ready, but we don't typically want to run our bot in this way. So I'm going to use Control C to stop the process, and we want to install a process manager known as PM2. So to install this, I could say sudo npm install -g. The -g is important, and then PM2. So now I can use Control L to clear my console, and I can do PM2 space list, and this will list all of the processes. And this little splash screen right here isn't something you'll always see. But if I run this again, here we see just a list of processes, which there are none right now. So to start our bot, I could say PM2 start index.js, and I can even give it a name by doing --name space Discord bot. And here we see the table has some extra information. We have an ID of 0, a name of Discord bot. This symbol here doesn't actually display on the console, but this is how many times the process has been restarted. And we see additional information such as the status, CPU, and memory usage. So to stop this, I could say PM2 stop 0, 0 being the ID. And here we see it stopped. I could say PM2 start 0, and then also PM2 restart 0. And here we see the restart counter has increased to 1. Now something that's very important is to view the logs. So I could say PM2 logs and then the ID, in this case 0. And here we see the bot is ready a couple times because of all the restarts, but this is where you would actually see all the logs for your process. And now we can use Control C to exit this. And now if we close our console, turn off our computer, it doesn't matter, your bot will still be running 24/7. As a final test, we have the bot is online hosted from the server, and I can do !ping, and it's going to reply with Pong. So that means that your bot is online 24/7 at just $7 a month. Want to improve your Discord bot even further? Click here to check out my other Discord tutorials.